What does it mean to really be the CEO of your career?
A key part of it is taking ownership for it. And a CEO has multiple dimensions to their role. Part of it is strategy, part of it is external, like engaging with people, part of it is internal, making sure operations and staffing are working, part of it's governance, making sure that they do things with integrity. So you think about, okay, that's what a CEO's roles involve. Well, how do you do that to your career? If you think about yourself as someone that people are going to want to work with and hire and maybe work for, what are the things that you need to do that? And so you need to be strategic and deliberate. You need to be purposeful. You need to be continually doing that engagement so people know who you are and support you. And like, you need to be working internally. Like, so what are the skills and experiences that I need to be able to get what I want to achieve? There's different things that you could do that would add to your skill sets and also with your experience that will then help you progress together. But it's holistic and it requires ownership and a long view and then execution.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Probably my number one thing for younger self is life is absolutely not relative. And so that can happen in a lot of different ways. It's not about the size of your house or your job title or your bank account. It really, what matters is what are you doing that is important to you? You know, your family is super important. Your friends are important. Your career is obviously important, but there's a balance there. If you get too out of whack or you get too absorbed in things or you're too worried about what others think, that can impact how you operate and do things. And so when I was younger in my career, often I would try and brag about my accomplishments or be aggressive in sort of trying to get the point in meetings and stuff where I didn't need to do that necessarily. When I realized, no, this is about working together with people. I'm not trying to score points and it's not relative. I'm not trying to get ahead of that person. What I'm trying to do is develop my own skills and contribute in a valued way. That changed my approach and I was able to be more natural and less about the relative.
What are some of the guiding principles in managing advancing your career?
One is it's a marathon, not a sprint. It kind of fits with that relative and absolute thing too, because sometimes you may see a friend get promoted or maybe you all graduate the same year and someone's doing this or that, but what you don't know is what they've sacrificed to get there or, you know, the inside track they may have. More importantly is to think about what's important to you. With what's important to you, those criteria, and make sure that you're positioning yourself so you can be opportunistic, but that you're not reactive. So there should be a broader objective. I know sometimes it's hard to know specifically what you want to do. Like not everyone wants to grow up to be a CEO one day. And I'm not saying about a title. It's more about what are the types of things you'd want to do? Do you want to work with people? Do you want to be diving into spreadsheets? Do you want to be out on the road talking to clients? Do you want to be designing products? Like, what are the things that holistically are the things that you think you'd be interested in doing and have that help drive what you're trying to do versus, oh, I want to be XYZ title. The other thing that would be important to think about principle wise is you're not on your own. So thinking about like, how can you involve others? Like a core thing to think about is do you have a mentor? If not, how do you find a mentor? How do you manage that mentoring relationship? There's a lot of different ways you can engage. Even if you don't have a mentor, maybe you have a partner or spouse that can help you, or like there's people that know and love you really well. Sometimes they can frustrate you, but they can actually be really good advice spots. It's important to bring people along because they can give you that sober second thought and the advice and be a support for you as you're trying to achieve your objectives.
How can one really deliberately manage a career that aligns with their long-term vision? And I also want to put out there the flip side is, what if someone doesn't have a long-term vision? How do they go about managing that?
You know, there's a phrase called reverse engineer. If you work backwards from where you want to go, like Diana, you reverse engineer when your objectives in the summer, you have different holidays that are going to bookend the summer and what your boys are going to do. Like that's good vision and planning, right? Especially after a couple of years in the pandemic. But if you think about the same thing for your career, if you think about what I've been doing for the skills matrix, I want to eventually do board work. I reverse engineer. I looked at the skills matrix and what are things I need to do. And so as opportunities present themselves, okay, well, that's an opportunity to work in a different country. I'm going to do that. Or that's an opportunity to oversee people locally. Or that's an opportunity to switch to a different function. Or that's an opportunity to switch to a different pillar of the industry. You know, I've been purposely doing that, but looking at that end goal of how do I build into that? So if you have a long-term vision, that's how you do that. If you don't have a long-term vision, there's a couple of different things. One is really understanding what's important to you from the point of view of, like, for instance, culture. I think most people today, especially in the pandemic, culture is super important. I want to work with people I like. Like, Dan, I love you. So one of the reasons I want to do this is I want to be working with you, right? So like, this is fun to be doing. So I want to do stuff where people I share values and passion with. So culture is important. What else is important? And those things can then at least help you filter what opportunities you're seeing or what to focus on. Additionally, if you don't have a long-term plan, start developing one. It doesn't mean you need to have the answer, but start doing the process. Find a mentor, start working with people. Get someone like Diana, who's an executive coach, to help you with that. She has a lot of experience in this. I've been working with an executive coach, a fantastic man, for a dozen years now. I met every 2 weeks for 12 years. The reason I've done that is there's not multiple reasons, but if you're Wayne Gretzky or Tom Brady, do you not have coaches? Do we not need coaches to be successful in our careers? I don't know. I'm not perfect. There's a lot of things that I need guidance and help on. And my coach knows when I'm getting in the wrong direction or whatever. And he can sense things and he triangulates and he works hard. My career has not been like this. There's been lots of ups and downs and setbacks. And he's helped me keep steady and narrow. But that's part of what helping achieve the long-term vision and developing it. So there's different things that you can do if you don't have one to help figure that out and help you become more effective.
I love that. I love that you share that you had a coach for 12 years and meeting every 2 weeks. Like that's the commitment and consistency to your personal growth, development, and to where you really want to be.